Yo, what's up, guys? Another episode, 3D podcast here. I'm Austin, podcast director, sitting here with another 1v1 with our videographer, Matthias.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matthias, I'm the videographer, creative director, and vice president of Not Designer.
So, Matthias, I know this because we're pretty chill and we go back for a little bit. And but you're originally from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And tell us your little story. How'd you end up here? What's good?
I ended up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Wisconsin, and I moved to St. Louis halfway through junior year in high school. It was not the best transition, as you can imagine. You know, all your friends living in Wisconsin, and just a fresh start, just a completely fresh start. Like, I'm sure a lot of you can imagine how that can be, you know, moving away from all of your friends and everything that you've ever known. It was just new, and I was moving with my brother, who moved back to Wisconsin within a year, and my two younger siblings, and my birth mother.
So who do you live with now?
So things got a little dicey after I moved down here, and I ended up moving out and moving in with a lady that my mom met at church, and like, just honestly, like, everything got so much better. Just my entire lifestyle changed, and yeah, things just got immediately better with self-improvement and who I am today.
Do you know where your mom is now?
Yeah, actually, she just moved to Arkansas not too long ago.
So you still keep in touch with her?
I try not to, honestly.
Why? It's your mom, dog.
It was a very unstable household. You know, pretty personal. So we won't really touch into that this early in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, things just, they weren't going very well, and my younger siblings actually moved in with me with this lady from church, and everything just started to get better in everyone's lives. So I eventually, you know, met up with 3D a few years down the road, living in St. Louis, and here we are now, having a podcast.
So what was life like in Wisconsin?
You know, a lot of shenanigans. Like, every day it was based on, you know, just having fun.
The most I know is from That 70s Show.
That
And
70s show.
The most is, I get my info is from that show.
Okay.
But
Well, just disclaimer: Point Place is not real.
is it just like a bunch of Kelsos?
No. It's, you know, you have everywhere you go is gonna be the same in my eyes. Like, you know, you still get the same demographic of people. You know, you do get your Kelsos down here in Missouri. You also get your Kelsos in Wisconsin. I'm sure you'll get them in California and everywhere across the world. You know, you just gotta hang out with the right crowd is what it comes down to. I was involved in some shadier people, and the activities based at a young age was involved around illegal activities and paraphernalia at a very young age. I'm talking middle school, and you know, just being.
You talking about pot?
I'm talking about pot. I am. In middle school, mind you. Like, this is 12 years old, man. We had a 25-year-old guy. His name was Eddie, and Eddie was hanging out with 12-year-olds, man. He would pick us up from middle school.
How old was this Eddie, dude?
25, man.
Holy
He was
shit.
picking us up from middle school, and we would just go smoke weed and drive around, and he would buy us alcohol. Like, yeah. Shit was shady, like,
shady
at a
Eddie, bro.
young age, man. My friends in that group, they all, I can only think of one of them that's not in locked up or dead, and or addicted to stronger drugs. Me and Nathan. That's it. Me and this guy Nathan. We're the only ones that's not locked up or addicted to drugs or, just a total shithead.
So like growing up like in middle school and like, was it just pot? Like what was the atmosphere like? Was it different or anything? You talk about it all the time, like how.
Yeah, man.
You're like, oh shit, I miss Wisconsin.
I do talk about it a lot, and I'm talking about the times that were better. My sophomore and junior year of high school. Those were my golden ages. That's where I peaked at my young age. But with all this going on in my life now, 3D and not designer, and having a passion, something that I want to do with my life. Now, I'm sure I'll peak again. Or no, I take that back. That will be my peak.
What inspired you to be like a videographer? Like, why did you want to get into that shit?
Freshman year, I bought an iPhone 4 from my friend Calvin, and I hope you're listening to this, Calvin, because thanks to you, buddy, I got an iPhone 4, and I started taking photos. They were some shitty photos, man, but I had a Tumblr in 7th grade, and you can still go on it, mat-0.tumblr.com. Go and check it out. Like I was reposting, like really cool environment landscapes. I loved landscapes and just artsy shit. So I was just constantly reposting that, and I wanted to mimic that. And all I had was an iPhone 4. I started taking pictures with that, and getting my way around town, just taking pictures. And my first job, I was a dishwasher when I was 15, and I was working at a shitty Mexican restaurant. No, I take that back. It was a dead Mexican restaurant called La Casa de Esperanza, and that is the House of Hope.
Just no one went there.
Nah, well, it was a daycare, right? So,
that sounded like a Mexican. I thought you were saying like a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things. It's a large nonprofit.
So you're talking about this building.
Yep.
It's a daycare. And a Mexican restaurant.
And it's a large nonprofit organization. My best friend Danny. But yeah. Hang on. It's not that sketchy.
It sounds pretty fucking sketchy.
Bro, put it this way: the kids had to be fed, so there was a restaurant in there as well. It didn't attract a lot of business because that's not what it mainly was.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure when you drive down the street, that's a fucking daycare.
Yeah. Everybody knew what La Casa de Esperanza was in my tiny town of Waukesha, population of like 70,000, where I grew up. Everybody knew what La Casa de Esperanza was, and I was a dishwasher there, and I was also a food runner. I was bringing the kids their food to their classrooms, and I'd go back and wash out the crates where all the food was, and that was my job. And I saved up enough money to buy a camera. I had about $700, and I spent $550 on a Sony A58 and another zoom lens with it, and I started getting better at photography. And halfway through junior year, we moved down to St. Louis, and I still had that camera. Then I met Rob through a mutual friend, and I actually sold that camera and all of the accessories that I bought for it for $800 to Rob's mom.
Our audio engineer.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, Rob. I sold it to his mom. So it was kind of a win-win, I thought. And I used that money to buy a Miata.
Oh.
Yeah. I spent $500.
Miata gang.
Spent $500 on a Miata, and this Miata was the biggest piece of shit it wasn't even street legal. Like it would have costed so much money to fix. I sold it.
Bro, but bro,
Miata.
it's a Miata, bro. It could have
You
been so sick.
you don't understand that there was a lien on it.
Dude, I remember sitting in the driveway, dude. It looked
Yeah.
fucking like, oh.
Guys, it was a fucking go-kart. It was it was a go-kart. It was not street legal. It would have never been street legal. I would have had put thousands of dollars into it to make it street legal. Like that thing would not have passed emissions. It was a 1992 blue. It was like spray painted blue. It was terrible job. The most expensive part of the car would have been the wheels. And
Of course.
okay,
course.
but like they were what is it called? Rubbed. Like the sides
Oh,
completely rubbed.
bro. I mean, that's
Like-
just the life.
It was a piece of shit, nonetheless. I bought the car. I had to sell it, and while I had the car, it was, I really missed having my camera. Like that was something that I really liked to do. I like to go outside and take pictures, and that was something that I really liked to do. And it's just been like I found that I liked photography at a very young age of 15, and that was what I wanted to do. But I sold my camera and I missed it.
So how'd you start to learn like how to do all this crap with like editing and like how like to do all that crazy stuff in your videos?
So it's all self-taught, 100% self-taught. YouTube helped me out along the way, tons of YouTube tutorials, but getting out there and just messing around with the camera, that's the way to go.
Okay, so how'd you get into video?
I took a class in high school, my my senior year. This was in Missouri, and I met Kane. He was in that class, and he was deep into video production, and he just wanted to be a director, and I liked that, and that sparked some interest in me. That was something that I saw myself doing too. I knew most videographers started out in photography and just kind of learned their way into videography from photography. So I felt like that was a good transition for me. But Kane deeply inspired me to, and he doesn't even know this, but he was a big influence into me becoming a videographer.
Did you meet him in Wisconsin? Where'd you meet him at?
I met him senior year in a media class at the high school in Missouri that I went to.
Yo, so like I saw in the group chat today, like you said that you quit your job at Walgreens, bro?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I was sick of it. Like, it's fed up. Fed up. That's the only word.
How long did you work there?
2.5. No. 2 years.
2 years?
2 years. That was my only job in Missouri.
So why'd you quit, dude?
Just fed up. Couldn't stand it. I hated it.
I thought you wanted to like move up into like the medical part of it or some shit, the pharmacy part.
I started out being a cashier at the front, moved over into photo, and then I went back to pharmacy to become a pharmacy technician. It sucked. It doesn't suck anymore. I'm out. I'm free. I liberated myself. Freedom is not free. You need to take it. And I did. For months, I was looking for a reason to quit. Just any reason. Any reason to quit. And the timing is never right. I just made a choice today. It was today I quit my job.
So what are you gonna do about like income now?
I'll figure it out. I'm going to full-time work on Not Designer, being the VP of operations. And we're currently talking to a manufacturer that manufactures Gucci and Louis Vuitton belts.
That's gonna be on Not Designer.
Not Designer is going to have superior quality product that will give us the superior edge for marketing. Clout without the cost. That will be my source of income. Not Designer will be my source of income for the months to come. Years, decades. This will be a brand that stands for years and decades. And that is our goal. To have a superior product on the market at a lower cost. That is Not Designer.
Ooh. So like in like all reality, you're just gonna work with Not Designer, mainly work on your shit and make income through that. That's what you're pretty much gonna do.
That's right.
All right, well, bet I'll be there with you, dog. So like, exactly how did you quit your job? Did you just like walk to your manager and be like, "Yo, I fucking quit," or did you not show up? Like, what'd you do?
I have worked every Friday night, Friday afternoon to close in the pharmacy for the past year. And making $10.87 an hour just isn't worth it. My time is spent better elsewhere, and I knew this for months. So I'm at Walgreens in the pharmacy, and I'm working, and I'm tired. I'm just tired. And one of the pharmacy technicians noticed. She's a middle-aged lady, and she has kids of her own. She kind of knows what's going on in a child's life more so. And she knew I was tired, but she didn't know why. And I told her, I said, I'm tired. I'm tired of working here. And she said, oh. She was very surprised, and I worked for another hour, and then it was time for my break. And then I decided I was just going to walk up to the store manager while he was putting product on the shelves. I took my uniform off. I walked up next to him. I didn't say anything for about 5 seconds. And he's just kind of looking at me like, how you doing? How you doing, Matt?
What do you want?
That was, yeah. He goes, how's it going, Matt? And I said, I'm tired. I'm tired of working here. He's kind of confused, like, what do you mean? And I go, I quit. I'm done working at Walgreens. And he goes,
so,
what?
No 2 weeks notice, no fucking...
I'm about to answer that question. I'm about to answer that.
Okay.
And he goes, okay, as of when? And I go, well, I don't know when my next shift is. And he says, probably Wednesday. You work a lot of Wednesdays. And I go, well, I'm not coming in for that. So, as of now, Greg, as of now. He goes, did you tell Dan? And I say, no, not yet. I'm about to. And he goes, good luck. And I said, you've been a great boss, Greg. And then we shook hands. And that was that. I walk over to the pharmacy, and I pull Dan out, and I tell him that I quit Walgreens. And he goes, so you're just going to walk out on me? And I said, no, I'm not walking out on you. I'm walking out on Walgreens. I'm walking out on the 9 to 5. And he goes, are you sure you want to do this? And I said, yes. I'm sick of working at Walgreens. And he just turns around and he goes back into the pharmacy.
That's that?
That was that. I walked out with a smile on my face.
Was that like when your shift ended or some shit? Or like, were you like in the middle of your shift, like, fuck this shit?
I was in the middle of my shift.
Dude.
I just clocked out for lunch. No, I didn't clock out for lunch. I clocked out for the day.
Jeez. All right, well, Betskis. That's the pretty much wraps it up for the episode here. Austin, podcast director, videographer, Matthias.
Peace out. Hope you enjoyed this episode.
This is the 3D podcast. We'll see you next week.